We're here with Erik Hallberg and Dean, and I just forgot the last name, so that's one on me. But you will be presenting JonDeTech today, and we have covered a lot of different tech areas. We have covered, I think, once or twice semiconductors and components. And here we are discussing further into that field, going really deep into deep tech. So the floor is yours, and we'll be back with Q&A after the presentation. And please do the introduction of yourself, so you will have that correct in the cyber world.
That's good. Thank you, Anders, for the introduction. My name is Erik Hallberg, and I'm chairman of the board of JonDeTech. Very pleased to be here. We'll give you a short introduction to JonDeTech, and then we will move over and introduce Dean Tosic to you. JonDeTech is for probably some of you that already know us, or some of you don't know us. Very exciting deep tech company. We are developing nanosensors in a very new way, based upon nanotechnology, with the purpose for addressing consumer electronics, IoT, and other industrial application. Well, you may say another sensor, another thing like that. Well, I like to give you a little bit of the excitement that I got when I start looking into JonDeTech, and I went with one of the board members to a very well-known developer of IoT and building technology and PropTech technology sensors. And we went through the whole system and the platform that we develop. And in the end, he said, this is super exciting. And I turned around and said to him, what do you mean? Yeah, you know, this sensor, which is a passive sensor, don't need to have power until it's used, will reduce my number of ampere in the sensor from 0.4 ampere to 0.1 ampere. That means that the life cycle cost and the life cycle model for this sensor will give him and his customer a much more longer lifetime and less cost. This is what it is about. It's not only nanotechnology, which is exciting in itself, it is to produce a benefit for the customer that make this sensor technology even more valid than it is not just a silicon sensor. We are now in a phase to develop this and scale this up. And we are looking into do it in a way where we can do it in a what we call fabless way without owning their own factory. We have decided to do this nanotechnology development, which is based upon a plastic film with metal threads coming through the metal, the plastic in a new way. We have a partner for that in Switzerland called named Varioprint, and we are excited to have them on board. We have, during the summer and beginning of this fall, entered into a new way of working with them in a new contract. In the past, we had a model where we were doing part of the development and production and part of them by them. And in reality, this led to that we had difficulties to know exactly who is responsible for what. So therefore, we have decided to have a new model where we are a true fabless, and we give them the recipe and the outcome of the production, and they deliver it to us. This is taking some time, for sure, and we are now in the way to grow it up and scale it up. And for us, it means also that this recipe that we have for the production could be used for other manufacturers in other places for other applications as well. So this is really to make it scalable. So this device that we have could address many different markets, and market that we have looked into is keyless, key locks, computers and devices for earbuds and smartphones. For sure, all of them is very happy to have devices that is less power using and could be thereby a very attractive part of their production. And we have partners for that, like Ofilm and others that is on its way. We have also found that we have assets in our portfolio that we will start utilizing over time, which will add even more value to the customer in the long life line that we have with these partners. So the board decided when we were elected in May to start a process to accelerate and focus to secure working samples from the new production and build it into design wins. Design wins is where the sensor goes into the production or designed for a production by an OEM partner. And to do that, we also said that we need to increase the management base in the company. We are very pleased with the hard work that Leif Borg, as acting CEO, has done and is doing for building the production. But we are now adding in a new CEO and a new Chief Product Officer coming on board. Let's see if this works. No. Yeah. So from 29th of September, we are very glad to welcome Dean Tosic as a new incoming CEO. And at the same date, also adding in Karin Thurberg as new incoming Chief Product Officer. So we're adding in strengths to the team we have to really go to market and accelerate the business process in the company. And with that, I will be very happy to hand over to you, Dean, and you make your own introduction. Welcome to the club. Welcome to the company. The stage is yours.
Thank you, Erik. And I'm really happy to be joining JonDeTech. I will be joining in 2 weeks from now, so it's still a bit premature for me to answer any questions in depth, as you can understand. A little bit about me then. I'm 51 years old. I've been working in the tech industry for some 25 years, starting out with startups, moving over to big international companies. And I would say that namely, I spent 14 years with Ericsson, working internationally with sales and leading sales efforts across the world. I spent time in both in the Nordics, of course, but also Central Europe, Middle East, and Africa. So I have some extensive experience in that I bring to the table to JonDeTech. I also have background in the military, being a reserve officer, so I think that experience will also guide me in how to lead the company and focus on how to basically take action and then make sure that we get the results that we want to have, given the plans we are making. So that's a little bit about me. I think that with this, I would like to say also that I have some background, of course, academically. I'm an engineer to start with. Before moving over to sales, I worked a lot with programming and business development in that area, in technical development. So I have basically traveled from the tech area to the sales and marketing area, and I feel very comfortable in now taking over the leadership of JonDeTech, and again, having Leif by my side with the experience of working in the company for a number of years feels very comfortable for me. So, thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And of course, now we will ask you a lot of difficult questions about the technology and the strategy, but you will have the golden card to use, which is the 100 days of the new CEO. Anyhow, let's see if we can do some questions that we have. But welcome to the company, so to say, even though it's 2 weeks left. So one natural question would be to ask, what's the ambition? What would be your ambition as CEO, given what you have heard so far?
Well, I think that JonDeTech is, of course, a scale-up case, and that is extremely interesting. And this is why one of the reasons why I joined JonDeTech as well. I think that there's a huge opportunity in doing something good, both with the current setup, but also in the future. I think that creating a market leader in the sensor technology domain is the ultimate ambition, of course. Having said that, I think that initially we need to proceed with the strategy which is in place, continuing on the roadmap to high volume production. That is extremely important. Adding to that, I think that having me on board and having Karin Thurberg on board, we will strengthen our ability to commercialize and package our product, to explore new application areas, as we saw some of the application areas in Erik's presentation. But we also see that there are a number of more application areas where we should go in and also explore how fast can we monetize those areas and get time to market for our product, which is the lowest possible.
Very nice. So I'm hearing a lot of good words here. Market leader, scale up, high volume, and commercializing. Excellent ambition, so to say. And you touched upon the opportunities. With that comes the flip side of the coin, which is the challenges. Anything that you already now have identified, or anything that you feel that you are going to look at extra?
Well, obviously the opportunity is that we are existing in a market which is growing. I mean, the sensor technology market combined with the whole IoT development in the world is exploding. Prices are coming down on sensors, and we are part of that. And riding on that wave, I think that will give us a lot of momentum moving forward. That's one of the opportunities, of course. We have a strong network of partners. Erik mentioned a few, and I think that making sure that we fulfill our strategy and starting to deliver to those partners, creating value to both them, to us, to our shareholders, that is the strong opportunity we have. Then exactly what will happen next, we need to figure out. When it comes to the challenges, of course, this is technology development at its core. This is R&D, this is product development. That is not easy. So what we need to do is to build an agile organization which can manage those challenges, resolve them, and move forward. So that is a big challenge, I think.
So a lot of opportunities, a lot of potential to be added along the way, but challenges have been identified and are basically already being looked into to be de-risked along the way, which should be something everyone will be happy with going forward. Maybe this will be more directed to you, but feel free to answer anyway. But it's regarding the partnership with Varioprint. Would you like to just tell us more about that? Because you both mentioned this is important. We started with the first slide on production, so just emphasize on that.
I think going a little bit back to what you said, Dean, this company has a fantastic asset in itself, but also that we are a Swedish industrial development company. Sweden is well known for that. When you're traveling internationally, Sweden is, in relation to size of the country, we are big, and we are known for doing great things. And when we look into this technology that is being developed for a long time by university and academic studies and now on its way to scale up, we need to be to our root, which is continuing the innovation, but also scale up the go-to-market things. And for us to be a production site is not really our core. For sure, we know how we should make the recipe and how we should put things together, but we are not the factory. And therefore, we've been step by step over the last years, and now the last summer and this fall, accelerating this fabless model, which means that we are outsourcing the production to someone that takes an end-to-end, A to Z quality measurement for the production for the certain application, step by step. It could be for one application, two applications with Varioprint, or it could be with another party with another one, because now we have a fabless model. And for us, this is extremely important because it means that we could accelerate and scale up with a fabless structure. If we should invest in the factory by ourselves, it will take even longer, and we don't have that skills. So we need to continue the skills we have to secure that we could accelerate the business that Dean talked about, to be closer to our business partner, to mount in our sensors in design wins for new applications that we could accelerate the business with. So Varioprint is a very well-known company for that, and we are very proud that they really want to do this. Because we ask them, it doesn't mean they should say yes. They do their commercial decision themselves. And they have said, yes, we like to continue and go deeper. So for me, it is a receipt that we are on the right track.
So partnership, important Varioprint along the way of high of scale up and high volume. So we're adding potential to the already in place technology. That's what we're hearing. So would there be any other partnerships that is of essence when it comes to your opportunities and what you are exploring to the future?
Well, I will not ask Dean to answer that yet. Let me just say the answer is yes. And that's what we're working hard on to add in step by step. But let that be the next surprise.
So speaking of surprises, I don't have anyone for you, but the next couple of 12 months, what does that have in store for JonDeTech as a company? What can be mentioned so far?
Number one, scale up the production. Get the new working sample out of the new production. We already have working samples from the more hand-on production, but from the new production, get it into design wins and thereby scaling up the first scale-up production. And then maybe some very nice, interesting surprises as well. That's what we hope for. But I will hand that over to Dean now.
Excellent. And you haven't started in the company yet, so you can't tell us more today, unfortunately, right?
Exactly, but I'm looking forward to the next time we meet.
Perfect. Listen, we have gone through the questions that we have received. Anything else that you guys would like to add to this before closing down the presentation for lunch?
I think ahead of me, I see points to profit as a headline, and I think that's exactly what we are aiming for as well. So thank you for having it on the screen.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure having you here, and it seems that this industry is really centralized in Sweden, and we've had a lot of CEOs running around here, and it seems everyone knows each other. So maybe we should host the next semiconductor gathering event in Sweden from Vator Securities. Anyhow, that's my own idea. Thank you very much for listening in. Thank you very much, Dean and Erik.